recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
You are listening to 4ZZZ.
4ZZZ.
4ZZZ. This is Zed Games. I'm your host Paul, and joining me are my good friends Zahra and Peter.
Hello.
Hey y'all!
Hey, you two. What's been happening in the world? Oh, no, I'm not asking that question. Dear God.
What's been happening in the world?
No.
What a terrible time to exist in the world.
Let's just talk about games today. I would love to just talk about some games.
You know what? Let's because there's quite a bit of things to talk about of that. I'm actually going to drop a bit quickly into our news here. So let's hit it, me. News. Still getting the timing quite right. I was a split second wrong there. Okay, we're going to talk to some news, and this week Zahra's finally put together a few stories, but I have a pickle to pick with Zahra.
Pickled pick.
Because whilst they have included many stories of interest here that we may discuss, there is one story that was completely omitted that I thought was so funny I did not make note of her. Something was revealed last Friday that's quite heavily gaming related.
The Switch 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is there to talk about, Paul?
That's the funniest thing about it. The Switch 2's reveal. There were so many leaks.
So many leaks.
And we're like, cool. We know what it looks like and all that.
We know it's got magnetic thingos.
Now, give us the details. And what was the announcement?
Nothing.
What it looks like.
Yep.
It's just what you imagine a Switch 2 would look like.
It's bigger, it's faster, it's got more features, which weren't announced.
We did see the new Mario Kart.
We did.
Okay, granted.
Behind the Switch, like not. So we don't know anything about it. There's Mario characters in karts. That's as much as we really got.
Which that's every Nintendo.
Yeah, some people don't like how Donkey Kong looks. I don't care.
Has it even been confirmed that it is the Donkey Kong?
It could be. It could be Donkey Kong.
Could be.
Could be Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Junky Kong. Jinky Janky Kong. Anyway, and also about the only projected feature that looked like it was confirmed. Again, looked like because all they did was show the form factor and it moving around.
She's like, ooh,
is the idea that the Joy-Cons may potentially work as optical mice.
Yep.
At one point, they're just racing them on the end that connects to the console. They're racing them around like race cars on the table.
There were many joystick drift jokes there.
Yeah. And the rumor is still that it's Hall effect, so hopefully no drift. But also, we still don't act like it was a rumor before, and it's still considered a rumor now, even though they raced around the table like race cars.
It confirmed nothing.
There was no confirmations at all.
What I love is, so we're getting details starting on the 4th of April?
4th of April.
No, 2nd of April, because I was really hoping it was not American date format.
Oh.
Because I thought it was going to be the 4th of February. I'm like, that will be fine. But no, 2nd of April, American date format. Thank you very much. But at least heavy on the rumor circuit is that there's a Nintendo Direct next month. And they have at least one big heavy hitter before the Switch 2.
Okay.
I mean,
timeline. Come on.
No. That's the one detail we did have confirmed. We already knew it, but they did say Switch 2 will definitely play Switch games, both the physical and digital games, with some exceptions.
Yes.
And those exceptions are probably going to be things like Labo, where you've got to physically put the thing inside a piece of cardboard, and it definitely won't fit because it's a different shape.
Who still has their Labo stuff?
I have almost all the Labo stuff.
Oh, good work.
Unopened, because I picked it all up for like $15-20 each, and I just was about to have my first child. I was like, this'll last, so I'm going to wait, I don't know, another year or so, and they can build some a Labo. Labo. Anyway,
that's lovely.
Should we shift on to some other news?
I guess so.
Indeed.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay, let's talk about Trump. We love it.
Speaking of
Do we?
bans for Genshin Impact.
Oh, no, that's not Trump related.
No. Confirm. Trump plays Genshin.
You gotta pick up the angle. Okay, you can start with your Genshin. Go for it.
Cognosphere, developer of Genshin Impact, had to pay a $20 million fine to settle some FTC allegations that the company violated children's privacy laws, as well as practiced deceptive behavior regarding the actual cost of in-game transactions. In addition to the fine, the company now must block children under 16 years old from making in-game purchases without parental consent.
Yes, you kind of hoped that would have existed anyway.
Yeah, I would have thought that would have already existed in the game, but no.
So-
Apparently not.
Let's do some perspective here. A $20 million fine for a game that has made $3.7 billion.
Does it seem like a drop in the bucket?
Yeah, slap on the
They
wrist.
didn't even notice the bucket.
That's a small minor leak.
Yes.
Someone goes, hey, it's leaking. Stop it.
Associated with the TikTok ban that came and went. People were very surprised on last weekend to discover, well, Americans at least, that they could no longer log into Marvel Snap. It was
Which is so upsetting because it's everyone's favorite game.
It is huge.
Oh,
Yeah, it is
Quite a popular game.
It is huge, and now because it also has like synergies with rivals, so it's like, if you play around in Marvel Snap, you'll get a special
Skin thing option.
nose ring for
customization.
Spider-Man, whatever.
Yep.
So they cross-pollinate between. It was because ByteDance, who owns TikTok, they also publish Marvel Marvel Snap. Now, this is editorial. Paul's opinions are his own and not that. There's nothing in the law that said that they had to take down Snap.
No.
They did.
If anything, it was kind of unusual because Snap was technically published by a subsidiary of ByteDance.
Oh, it's still owned by. It's a high rank of thing, but it's not what the ban was about.
No.
They took it down because it's popular, and they wanted to get as many eyes on things as possible. And so that ban lasted 24 hours.
Barely.
Barely.
There was no announcement before it, so people had just like bought microtransactions and they got into the new season. But also, probably surprising from the end of this was that the actual developer, their response was, well, we're finding a new publisher because you can't screw us around like this. They didn't know either.
Yeah.
I doubt Disney was happy with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, no.
So, but
I'm surprised Disney's not publishing it themselves then.
Disney has gone up and down in games publishing all over the years.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
know what their current strategy is.
Ignore it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. If it's not your expertise, give it to people that it is their expertise and
Hope
focus
that
on what you know. Hope that they don't take it down
hope they do
in
the
order
right
to
job.
play politics. Otherwise,
It is back, so
yeah.
Snap fans, don't worry.
If you want to snap along, go for it.
Yeah.
In news of other things being taken down, though, more permanently.
Yep. Do you want to,
Yeah.
Peter?
EA will be shutting down the Origin app on the 17th of April this year, which the EA app will completely replace, but it's not going to be the smoothest transition. EA app only works on 64-bit systems, not 32, and of course with Windows 11 it will continue to have its problems.
I mean, you've had about 20 years to stop using a 32-bit system.
Yeah.
If you have a computer that has less than 4 gig of RAM, and
You're probably not playing any sort of modern games on it.
and probably the games that you are playing probably can get around not using Origin. Yeah,
Probably.
there's other ways
There's
around
going to
it.
be
There will be
other
dozens
ways.
of people slightly affected by this.
Dozens? You mean a dozen people?
And I feel for
Dozen.
each and every one of them.
Yes. My condolences. Here's a $5 gift card to the EA app.
Yes. Sorry, you started to speak, and I did not
No,
want
I
to
was
cut you.
just-
Oh, you were just breathing.
I was just breathing.
Oh, you and your breathing. You're always into that.
Yeah, it's what the kids are into these
A couple
days.
of quick things we reported a couple of weeks ago. The Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 would be out this year. A little note that 4 may not. Probably not.
Yeah,
But-
they're putting delays on that.
Yeah.
They've decided it's not up to Scruff and putting a little delay.
Not
so
up to
that-
Scruff.
Well,
Oh,
specifically, doesn't match the quality of the other chapters.
yeah. And they aren't scruffy.
They're not Scruffy, no.
And in Zahra news, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 will be coming in 2027, potentially in the March of that year.
Which seems weird.
It does.
Why weird?
Why not on Boxing Day? Like all the other movies.
Yeah.
Well, did they all come out on Boxing Day? I mean, you would know.
I would know. I was there at every single one of them.
Oh my lord. Maybe there's maybe it ties into something. I don't know.
I mean,
the next Sonic game.
That's what
secretly
some of the
announced.
Sonic fans are
That's
losing their mind
2
about.
years away. There will be 7 new Sonic games before then.
Yeah, but this will be the next numbered one.
It's going to be the year of silver.
What are we? What's the next number one? We haven't had 5, have we?
No, we've. This is in the movies.
No.
No,
The next numbered Sonic game.
Peter's saying the next. No one numbers Sonic games anymore. It would be confusing at this point.
We haven't numbered them since 3.
4.
Exactly. So
Hey, no, we've got 4.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one will
4,
be Sonic
episode
5.
1.
Sonic 5.
When Sonic 4 launches in the movie theaters.
Okay. Enough, you Sonic perverts.
Yeah, we know.
Just a couple of games coming out. We're just going to do a quick section. On January 23rd, you should be able to get Final Fantasy Rebirth on PC.
Goodbye, friends. I miss
Star
you.
Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles coming to pretty much everything. Also, we've got Mark of the Deep coming to PC on January 24th. Guilty Gear Strive is getting a Switch release on the 25th. Cuisina comes to Switch. Orcs Must Die Death Trap is coming out on Xbox consoles and PC. Warside is coming out to everything. And anything I missed that you'd like to chuck in there, kids?
Not specifically. There's a good
Pretty
one
happy
out
with
there
that.
coming.
Maybe Cuisinier on Switch for the January 28th.
I thought I said
Cuisinier.
Oh God, now I can't say
Cuisinier.
Cuisinier.
Well, now we said it twice, 3 times. 4
Cuisinier.
times.
Yeah, I reviewed it last year.
But it's coming to the Switch.
It's pretty okay. Not a classic, but fine.
A weekly dose of science on 4ZZZ is now available as a podcast.
I learned that you can hear the difference between different water temperatures when they're poured. I'm going to pour one after the other into a different glass, and you have to tell me which one is which temperature. I've got a hot and a cold. Right, here's the first one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm saying cold.
It sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Here's the second one. Well played.
Shut up.
Search No Idea 4ZZZ on your favorite podcasting app. That's spelled KNOW, like Kano Idea. It's a visual pun on an audio platform. I don't know why we did it.
This is Zed Games, and I'm your host, Paul. And joining me are Zahra and Petar.
Hello.
And now it's one of my favorite times.
Ooh.
I'm little, I really little. Okay, that was fun.
really cute. That was adorable.
I am little. I am here to talk about Minishoot Adventures. One of the worst named games of the last year. This is part of my catching up on games I should have played last year series. So Minishoot Adventures is a bullet hell Metroidvania Zelda-like, where you're a little spaceship. So this is the problem. And actually, this is like the whole list of problem now.
Yep.
Terrible name. Minishoot Adventures, you hear it sounds like maybe something you just find thrown onto the Switch store or something.
Like a mini game or something.
2, you look at it and it's just spaceships and dots. Like, they're well drawn, but there's nothing too exciting looking there.
I've seen spaceships and dots before, yeah.
And then you actually start playing it. And it's a game that sells itself very quickly because the first thing you notice is that it feels extremely good to move around.
Nice
Which
and
is
responsive.
really... you want it responsive. If you're going really fast, there's a bit of drift. You can bring it in, stuff like that. So we're talking top-down here, 2D graphics. But what we have here is just an incredibly well-built game with an excellent power curve and a bunch of just little ideas that make it wonderful to play. So everything in the game, I think with one exception, is a ship.
Okay.
Like, all the ships from your village have been stolen. You're a ship. Like, it's just a breed of ships.
Right.
Partly because they're less work to animate, because it is literally a 2-person team. I found it very interesting. Normally you hear that and you go like, oh yeah, and then it starts, it goes by this person, and then a bunch of friends, and then the publisher, which goes for 3 minutes scrolling past, and then I looked at that list as it was scrolling past in the credits. It was not many more people than just the 2 of them, and especially on the development side, it was really just them.
Wow.
Then, like, probably the longest list was the playtesters, which shows because it's extremely solid. Okay, so what's fun about it? Twin stick shooting, moving around, start the game, very weak.
Yep.
When you kill enemies, you get a currency that lets you upgrade. So they've got a couple of upgrade systems in the game. One is finding power-ups, and those power-ups will give you basically new abilities that you'll need to continue the game. Like your Metroidvanias, things needed to progress, but also just a few things that are fun if you explore a lot.
Okay.
And I do recommend finding all, because I can't imagine doing some of the later bosses without at least one of those powers. So you're out in the world, got that, but the currency, you can upgrade just parts of your ship. So, I want more power to my gun, I want to be faster, all these basic things.
Yep.
The part that makes this a little bit different is that none of those choices are permanent.
Oh.
So you can literally go like, whoa, my build sucks. Just remove all the points you put them back wherever you want at any time. Literally, there's a bunch of minigame races in the game. Most of the time, I didn't need a lot of speed on my ship. But I just get to the race and go, before we start, just give me a sec. Pull everything off my guns because I'm not shooting in the race. Stick it all in my speed. There we go. Let's go.
So you can just like remove all the points that you put into it and then just like put them back in another form.
There's no penalty to it. It's just like change it as you will. And as different scenarios come up, you can do that and it lets you adapt your playstyle. Because even though I've got everything in the game, I still don't have enough points to fill out all of those abilities at the same time.
Okay.
I still, even at the point of basically, other than that, 100%ing the game, I still don't have enough points to do everything at once. But that's fine because I don't need everything at once. I make those choices.
You're able to customize it at any point, sort of idea.
It's a small game, but even then, we're still talking finishing. I think I was around 11 hours.
Okay.
So it's not nothing.
No.
But also, it's a very open game. So whilst it will tell you exactly the next thing you need to progress, you can go most of the world almost immediately. Go out there, you can take on enemies larger than yourself, and that's just going to result in you getting more currency from them, so you can upgrade yourself faster, and you it self-balances in in that way. So if you go and take a risk, that gives you the reward of like, now I'll go back into that area.
High reward. Yeah.
It's just lots of observational puzzles. Everything's well marked. They have you actually it takes from Hollow Knight. You find a map. Like, you don't get a map until you find it. And also, then you just take it back, and then the guy at town fills it out for you. So if you haven't found that dude, they won't fill it out. You'll just have the basic geometry.
Okay.
No, that's really fun. I like that.
But as you get more power, there has the things like marking off what you've completed, and then, like, the final big one is, okay, now I'll just show you everything you've missed. So if you
handy.
If you do want 100% it, which is fun, do that. And other than that, it's just really well designed bullet hell. All the enemies the spray of bullets come out in interesting patterns. I'm not an aficionado of bullet hells. I have like 4 that I like, but at least some of the patterns were fresh enough for me. There's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
The difficulty, I was playing on normal. There's a harder difficulty and an easier difficulty. I was fine. Most like bosses, I was tense, but I'd beat in like 2-3 goes. So the learning run and then the killing run.
Yep.
But also, if you really wanted to make it challenging for yourself, you just pull the points out of those abilities.
True. Give you a lot more customization.
So it feels great. The structure is excellent. You're never going to not know where you're going. It's full of variety. There's different mini games in there. It is sweetly funny without having there is a little bit of text. You find a few lore tablets, but other than that, you're not speaking to other people. They're more just squeaking at each other, going, you know how like ships do.
Yes.
It's quite a pretty game as well.
Yes. It's a basic look, but it is actually and it's very readable. Like, I'm never getting lost in there. An extremely high recommendation. Yes, so Minishoot Adventures, which I played on PC, on Switch, and I believe it is still just on PC only, but it is very much something that you could port easily. I played it on Steam Deck, and it was a very nice game. It took about 3 days of mucking around. All right, and that brings me to the end of Minishoot Adventures. Why is there an apostrophe? I mean, is it the name is Minishoot, but then no S?
Maybe there's a character named Minishoot in there.
But doesn't Minishoot itself have to be a plural for the apostrophe?
I don't know. Because even...
we need someone better at grammar.
Ronnie, where are you?
Speaking of grammar, this happens again.
Oh my god, really?
A little bit a little bit of wall. I'll put them over here. I've done the corners and I've done the edges.
This piece of sky looks like this other piece of sky.
That
Puzzles.
it does.
Turns out it was the reflection of the sky in the water.
Oh, don't even talk to me about that, Paul.
Trust me, that has stumped me on more than one occasion. But
Peter, what are we talking about?
we are talking about a game that came out a while ago, but I have only recently discovered and decided to do a review on, called Jigsaw.
Sonic!
No.
Oh, sorry.
Sonic Jigsaw. No.
No, Paul, that's
Although
me.
I'm sure Zahra would appreciate that. No. Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams.
Ooh.
So, I'll give you a little bit of context. So, jigsaw puzzles have always held a special place in my heart. As a child, before the era of endless digital entertainment, my family would bring out one of those few jigsaw puzzles that we owned. It was a collective effort over a weekend or a week, each of us contributing small sections piece by piece. Once completed, the jigsaw would sit proudly on the dining room table for a while before being disassembled and tucked away for another session and whatnot.
I think my first big one, we had a big Back to the Future poster one, which there's a lot of black on that poster.
Yes.
Not good for young children.
One of the ones that we had was very much a black and white dice. Just the entire thing.
Oh,
A black and white dice.
That sounds
where
miserable.
are you
It was.
getting your puzzles from? These sound
They were
awful.
classified as imposter puzzles and things like that.
Yeah,
But
they'll do it.
looking back, I realized that it wasn't just the satisfaction of completing the task of completing the puzzle that made it so engaging as a kid. It was the sense of teamwork as a family working towards accomplishing something tangible together and
Yeah.
whatnot. Recently, I lived by myself and whatnot, and I was looking for something that kind of gave me some chill vibes and other things like that I could complete a task. And I played web fishing, which was recently reviewed, and other things as well. But I wanted something even just simpler, just something I could do while I was watching YouTube or various different things. But I stumbled across Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams on Steam, and it was a delightful digital take on my classic pastime of building puzzles and whatnot. At its core, Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams is all about assembling digital jigsaw puzzles. You know, using pieces to create stunning pictures. While there are countless websites offering similar experiences, this game set itself apart with its thoughtful features and customization options that are in the game. You can tailor each jigsaw to your liking, selecting the number of pieces and even deciding whether the pieces are randomly rotated or flipped as an additional challenge. So you can have them all set exactly the correct way that they should be in the final piece, so you don't have to worry, am I looking at it the wrong way up or other things. You can also make sure they're all flipped correctly, so you can see all of them to start with sort of idea. They're still a mess. They're not organized in correct patterns or anything like that, but makes it a little easier and a little less tedious to start off with, sort of thing.
If you want.
If you want. If you prefer something even simpler, you can make each piece a uniform square, which is great for younger players or those who want an easier experience on some of the smaller sized puzzles. So you can set a puzzle to have 20 pieces and they're all just squares. So if you want to give it to your kid or something to try and do simple.
So in that case, can you put any piece next to any piece?
No. So this is where it can be much more underestimatingly difficult.
Yeah, I was kind of
for a
like, I don't
1,000-piece
actually
jigsaw
see how
puzzle.
the square actually would help a kid.
Color-wise, smaller puzzles, less pieces can be easier.
Those all, it's the square I don't get. Because
Yeah.
as far as I can see, that's taking away information that can help
Exactly.
you.
Tackling 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles with identical square edges and dozens of similarly colored pieces is far trickier than it sounds. You have a 1,000-piece puzzle where you've got 50 or so pieces that are all just one solid color green, and you randomize the rotation of every one of them as well, so you don't even know which side of the square goes with which
That just
other
sounds
side of the
pointlessly miserable.
Yeah.
I'm
still currently working on the puzzle.
You can't put them anywhere, so you can't make a mistake and then fix it when you notice. It just will say, no, you can't put it in.
It has a very satisfying click when the pieces go together. So you can definitely tell when pieces have gone together.
Yeah, but it's just based on where they're actually supposed to be, not
Yes.
if they could, because obviously the square could go next to anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't have to just fit in this correct puzzle in the right spot. You have to put the different pieces together and connect it all up like you normally would with a puzzle as well.
Can you build the puzzle in different spaces and then take those large pieces and move
Yes.
them around? Cool.
Yeah. So that's part of what I'll get into next. So the gameplay takes place in a fully 3D environment. Your own customizable digital house. You can personalize everything from the floors and walls to the tables and cabinets, choosing textures and colors to create a space that feels uniquely yours. While some players might overlook this feature because it's not presented directly to you, I found it incredibly satisfying, especially when paired with the game's multiplayer mode. So multiplayer allows you to invite friends into your personalized space to solve the jigsaws together. It's not just about working collaboratively though, it's also about sharing your creations. So you can hang completed jigsaw puzzles on your virtual walls for others to admire, adding a touch of personality to your shared experience. Completing a jigsaw solo is enjoyable, but working alongside with friends while chatting on Discord elevated the experience for me, that's for sure. The game's music kind of ties in here as well. It's a relaxing mix of lo-fi tracks that complements the gameplay without being intrusive. However, I opted to turn it down or off most of the time, as I preferred listening to other media or chatting with friends during
That's funny, because some of the comments on the game when I was reading on it were that this game is just an excuse for him to put his music in something, because obviously puzzle games are quite simple to create. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, but this music hit apparently pretty hard for some people.
Yeah, no, like if you like lo-fi tracks and things like that, there's some more energetic ones and whatnot, but it is good to just have on in the background sort of thing. But as I said, I was watching Netflix or YouTube or chatting with friends on Discord, and for the most part for myself, I kind of ignored it. The free version of the game provides a solid selection of jigsaws, but I found the experience even more rewarding after purchasing one of the DLC packs. Each pack includes additional jigsaws and customization options for your house, such as new textures for the floors or tables or other things like that. But what really stood out, though, was the ability to create custom jigsaws using your own image files. Now, this isn't something new, but being able to do that in this space and have all of the other customization options for the squares and everything else, and being in that 3D environment to share off the images I've taken and have other people that may not have gone to a destination or travel with me sort of idea, but are assembling the puzzles based on my photos that I've taken while I was out traveling and whatnot, and sharing and talking about those experiences was a lot more enjoyable on that space, because it felt like we were getting around a digital table.
Are those pictures just kept client side?
So it's just kept on the owner of the house's side sort of idea, so they can't be shared with other people.
Because I was thinking different kinds of images you can chuck in there.
Whether it's travel photos or screenshots from a favorite game, the option to transform personal memories into jigsaws was a fantastic touch, especially combined with the other features and whatnot.
I'm going to turn into an escape room where they have to get put the puzzle together to get the formula for the antidote for the poison I just gave them.
You could.
Okay, Mr. Jigsaw.
Most DLC packs are pretty reasonably priced at $7.50 and offer a variety of additional jigsaws and customizations and stuff. But one of the standout ones specifically was the stickers and challenges and more pack, which adds over 2,000 stickers to stick around your room and environment, as well as challenges to unlock more and more as well. Yeah, the main thing to buy a DLC pack for is to give you the option to customize your puzzles and stuff, though. It's not in the base game. The free game allows you to connect with others and play within their spaces and do your own. Yeah. But any of the DLC packs includes the option to customize those puzzles.
As simple as like jigsaw puzzle mechanics can be in it, having that space is pretty good. One of my favorite games in recent years was Puzzling Places, which is a VR 3D puzzle builder, which they then added multiplayer to.
Yeah.
And it is just nice. Even at, like completely off video games, we still at work just have a puzzle table. Yeah. You sit down and have a chat with someone, sort some pieces out.
Yeah.
Don't do their face. That Jerry's doing that face. Don't touch any face pieces.
But yeah, it's just a relaxing, charming experience, and while the features aren't unique to the game, having them all in there in that one digital space and inviting friends into play with up to 10 people digitally as well was just a really great experience. So.
And what was the game called once more?
Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams. It is free on Steam, but you do need to buy a DLC pack if you want to customize which images that you want to use.
Puzzles. I've lost a piece of the puzzle.
Square pieces are the worst pieces.
You're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Zed Games on 4ZZZ.
Oi mate, you're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
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 Got a bit carried away.
So I can get to work on time.
I cannot say how much that song makes me smile, especially when you know the context. That game is like Bennett Foddy's getting over it, except you're a businessman on all fours with wheels on his elbows and knees, and it has like a Stanley Parable narrator. And that song, I believe, is not from the actual game. It's from the community of the game that they then put in like this, because the streamer helped make it. We are going to go into this in about 2 weeks. We've got someone that's in the community coming in to talk about it. It is wild, and I laugh so hard in that.
Absolutely stunning.
We're pretty much at the end of the show now. This is Zed Games. I'm Paul, Zahra, Peter. We've only got time to say goodbye, so goodbye.
Farewell. I'll be to say goodbye. Adieu. Okay, I'll stop.
No. Yeah, there. It's not in favour at the moment. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Zed Games. If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.